Shakur Stevenson is preparing to defend his WBC lightweight championship against the hard-hitting and unbeaten William Zepeda in what promises to be one of the most anticipated clashes of the summer. The bout is scheduled for July 12th at the iconic Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York, and will take place as part of a major boxing event also featuring Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. Stevenson, known for his cerebral approach, defensive brilliance, and masterful control of distance, enters this contest with a pristine record of 23 wins and no losses, including 11 victories by knockout. But standing across from him on fight night will be William Zepeda, a relentless pressure fighter who boasts an even more explosive record of 33 wins with 27 knockouts, undefeated and unforgiving. This isn't just another defense for Stevenson, it's a collision course between two contrasting styles and, more importantly, two men who've never tasted defeat. For Stevenson, this fight comes at a critical moment in his career. While his technical ability and ring IQ have earned him accolades and multiple world titles across divisions, his last fight didn't do him many favors with fans or critics. In that outing, Stevenson secured a 9th-round TKO over Josh Padley, a late replacement opponent who was clearly out of his depth. The win may have padded Stevenson's record, but it left many asking whether he was truly being tested. Some pundits even questioned whether Stevenson had grown too comfortable playing it safe, relying too much on his defensive strengths and not putting himself in harm's way. Adding to the concerns were whispers about lingering hand issues, injuries that have flared up in past bouts and could compromise his offensive output against a fighter like Zepeda, who never stops coming forward. Zepeda, on the other hand, is riding a wave of momentum and building a reputation as one of the most feared punchers in the lightweight division. His style is brutally effective, non-stop pressure, high punch volume, and the kind of cardio that forces opponents into deep waters. His back-to-back fights against Tevin Farmer, including a grueling split decision win in their rematch, showcased not only his endurance, but also his ability to dig deep when faced with adversity. Zepeda doesn't dance around the ring or wait for openings. He charges in, floods opponents with punches, and breaks their will. Against someone like Stevenson, who thrives on creating space and countering mistakes, Zepeda's aggressive, almost reckless approach could force a level of urgency that Stevenson hasn't had to show in quite some time. The stylistic clash has already sparked heated debate across the boxing world. On one side, you have the purists who believe Stevenson's slick footwork, impeccable timing, and elite defensive mechanics will allow him to neutralize Zepeda's wild aggression. They point to his performances against top-tier opposition, highlighting how few fighters have been able to land clean shots on him, let alone corner him. On the other side are those who argue that Stevenson has yet to face someone with Zepeda's engine and explosiveness, a fighter who won't be discouraged by missed punches or frustrated by defensive tactics. To them, Zepeda represents a real danger, a relentless force that can drag Stevenson into an uncomfortable war and shatter the illusion of invincibility that surrounded the WBC champ for years. For his part, Stevenson hasn't shied away from the spotlight or the trash talk. In recent interviews, he's made it clear that he plans to dominate, even going so far as to say he'll put belt to ours when the time comes. But beneath the bravado, there's a layer of measured respect. Stevenson knows Zepeda isn't walking into that ring to lose. He's aware of the physical strength, the Mexican fighting spirit, and the unrelenting pace Zepeda brings to every bout. That blend of confidence and caution paints a portrait of a champion who understands just how thin the margin for error will be come July 12th. He can't afford to be flat-footed. He can't let Zepeda set the rhythm. If he does, this won't be a chess match. It'll be a demolition job. The setting only adds fuel to the fire. Fights in New York carry a different weight. The fans are knowledgeable, unforgiving, and unapologetically vocal. Stevenson is no stranger to the East Coast spotlight, but the pressure to impress will be magnified tenfold under the lights at Louis Armstrong Stadium. A defensive clinic might win him the decision, but it might not win over the crowd. He knows he may need to take risks, engage more, and fight with a level of grit that appeals not just to judges, but to the people in the stands and watching at home. In that sense, the real battle may not be with Zepeda alone. It may be with public perception. From a rankings and legacy standpoint, this bout is pivotal. Stevenson currently holds the WBC title, while Zepeda enters as the interim champion. Their collision isn't just for the belt, it's for supremacy and momentum. In a division that's loaded with talent, Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Vasily Lomachenko, these are the names hovering in the background, ready to pounce on whoever emerges victorious. A win here could fast-track Stevenson into a mega fight, or it could catapult Zepeda into global stardom. This is more than just a defense or a shot at gold. It's a chance to reshape the narrative and become the name that headlines the next chapter of lightweight history. As the weeks wind down, both camps are ramping up the intensity. Stevenson is reportedly laser-focused on staying sharp, agile, and elusive. The hand concerns remain, but his camp insists he's healthy and ready to go. Zepeda, meanwhile, has locked into a war-ready mindset, doubling down on conditioning and power work, aiming to push the pace and take Stevenson into dark, unfamiliar territory. The contrast couldn't be more stark. One man focused on evasion and angles, the other on volume and violence. That's what makes this matchup so compelling. It's not just two undefeated fighters, it's two completely different philosophies about how to win a fight, about what boxing truly is. Everything points to this being a moment that could change both of their careers. The fans want action, the division needs clarity, and these two warriors are set to deliver something unforgettable. With legacies, reputations, and futures on the line, there's no room for hesitation, no space for playing it safe. This isn't just another fight, it's a showdown that could define the next generation of lightweights. And when that bell rings on July 12th in Queens, it won't just be about belts or records, it'll be about who's ready to risk it all. When the moment comes, there's also an emotional undercurrent to this fight that's hard to ignore, something more personal than belts or rankings. For Stevenson, this isn't just about defending his title, it's about protecting the legacy he's worked so meticulously to build. Since turning pro, he's been labeled a generational talent, a future pound-for-pound king. But in recent years, some of that shine has dulled. Fans have grown restless, critics have become louder, and the pressure to deliver something spectacular, not just strategic, has reached a boiling point. He knows that boxing is as much about entertainment as it is about execution. He's heard the chatter about his boring style, about how he plays it too safe. And on July 12th, he has a chance to silence all of it, to remind the world not just that he can win, but that he can dominate and excite while doing it. Zepeda, meanwhile, walks into this fight with a chip on his shoulder. Despite his unbeaten record and knockout-heavy resume, he's been treated like the underdog, the disruptor, the guy who's supposed to lose but might make it interesting. That role doesn't sit well with him. Zepeda believes he's the real threat in this division, the one everyone's avoiding. And now that he's got a shot at a marquee name like Stevenson, he's treating it like a personal mission. There's no fear in his approach, just fury and focus. He's not coming to box pretty, he's coming to break something. And deep down, he believes that Stevenson has never faced someone like him before, someone willing to eat punches, walk through fire, and keep swinging. He's not here to make it close. He's here to make a statement. The buzz around the fight has already started to spill beyond boxing's usual circles. This isn't just resonating with hardcore fans, it's drawing interest from casual viewers, sports personalities, and even fighters from other divisions who want to see how Stevenson handles a fighter who refuses to take a backward step. Social media has become a battlefield of predictions, with fighters, trainers, and fans all weighing in. Some say Stevenson's slickness will nullify Zepeda within a few rounds, that he'll turn the fight into a boxing lesson. Others argue that Zepeda's relentlessness will force Stevenson into exchanges he can't avoid and possibly can't survive. It's rare to see this level of unpredictability in a championship fight. That tension, that unpredictability, is what's making this bout feel like a true event. As the countdown to fight night continues, one thing becomes increasingly clear. This isn't just another title defense, and this isn't just another opponent. This is a pressure cooker, a proving ground, and a potential turning point for both men. For Stevenson, a win could restore his mystique and catapult him into conversations with the sport's biggest stars. For Zepeda, it could finally force the boxing world to take him seriously, not as a brawler or a spoiler, but as a legitimate champion capable of beating anyone. And for the fans,